Dungeons and Dragons.
And junk drawer. Hello.
Hi.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome back.
I'm having
So
internet
happy to
issues.
have you. That is a thing. That is true what you said there.
I just wanted everyone to know.
Yes, if we disappear for any reason, it's Josh's fault. Specifically just Josh. Only his fault.
Things can't be my fault. I'm an adult who pays taxes. It's Google's fault.
Okay, you know what? I will retract my earlier statement. It's all Google's fault. So be mad at them. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer. We are back this week with a whole nother episode with a number that is after 27, probably.
28, I think.
Oh, was I that close? Yes.
Yeah, you were pretty
I'm
spot
good
on.
at stuff. Nice. We are going to start off with our shout-outs tonight with Josh Delgado.
Ooh, me. Well, I have two shout-outs. One shout-out to Google Fiber for just taking a shit the past 24 hours and making my internet suck. And then the other shout-out is to Colorado State COVID-19 testing because I was potentially exposed on Sunday and I got tested and it was super easy. Also, fuck you, Donovan.
We'll call that 2.5 shout-outs. Fuck you, Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan. How does that thing feel going up your nose?
It's just like around the nostril. It's not like back in your brain anymore.
Oh, because that's what they showed it looking like, and I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. No, they've changed it.
Up next, we have Dice Dad Day.
Okay, Forrest. Hey, what's up? Shoutouts are going to go to Roll20. Roll20, we're not sponsored, though we wish we were. We wish we were sponsored. Basically, we've been, during this COVID-19, really, I think, has strengthened our reliance on Roll20, despite being apart. I think we really just leaned into it, and I wanted to shout out a few people and a few friends, and they're not my friends, but I wish they were. Just some of their things and their maps that I like to use. So today I'm going to shout out Brass Badger Workshop for their tokens, Gabriel Picard for our Grung village we had last time. We have a new map that's going to be tonight. And of course, we're just always going to be plugging David Hemingway because he's just a delight. He's a sweet treat. All of the things that he's made have been incredibly high detailed. All of these are actually incredibly high detailed, very affordable. And once you buy them, they're yours. So it's not like you have to worry about like, oh no, I lost this. It just makes things a lot easier. So yeah, if you are looking for a virtual tabletop experience, I highly recommend Roll20 and their awesome marketplace products. Also, shout out to Cholula. Thank you for making eggs delicious.
I feel like that should have been set to a song. Thanks for making
was set
eggs
to a song.
delicious.
Set to the song in your heart, Josh.
Yeah, I just did it. I performed
Also,
it.
Vesa Sur, which is a Latin lager.
Well, does anyone else get afraid when Justin mentions a new name? Because I do. Up next, we have the man that portrays the elf man. Mike Spillane, what you got for us, buddy?
Make sure you're checking us out on Instagram at The Junk Drawer Show. Twitter has kind of slowed down a little bit. I do apologize about that. It's because I took a social media hiatus for a little while. So, Josh, if you could get me the credentials for that again, because it completely logged me out. I appreciate the help. So we could get back to being Twitters.
Can do.
Which I believe Twitter is at Junk Drawer Show. And also new development. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat right now so that way we can go ahead and take a look at it. One of Carlos's designs has been put up on Redbubble. Any proceeds from the sales we are going to be donating to Black Lives Matter charities. So we have shirts, phone cases, any kind of thing that you could possibly want is available on there. So if you're interested in trying to help out the cause and support Carlos's artwork, be sure to check that out. And as always, remember that Black Lives Matter, and as well, happy Pride. So, yeah.
Yay.
on deck, batting in the 4-hole, we have Carlos. What you got for us?
On dick or on deck?
Yes.
Both.
Yes. I would have it no other way. Thanks for the shout out, y'all. Yeah, check out our the Instagram and the chat as well. Mike went ahead and put the link up there. I'm gonna be putting more and more art as time goes. Right now, I only have a couple pieces. One specifically is for Black Lives Matter. The other one is one of our pieces that I did a while ago that I used the inspiration from the Covers album of one of the Gorillaz, and I put it up there as well. So if you want to get some of our art, if you want to buy and support some of the charities for Black Lives Matter, that would be awesome. Right now, I'm gearing towards 2 charities, mainly one of them being the main Black Lives Matter one, and the other one for bailing any of the protesters out that have been wrongly arrested for protesting. And then my other shout out real quick, because I always shout them out, is Random Encounter Productions, who have also been very supportive of everything going on. You can check them out at Random Encounters Prod, P-R-O-D, on Twitch. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
And I just want to give a belated happy birthday to my wife and thank her because she lets me play Imagination with you guys every week, and I appreciate her for that. I'd also like to shout out Wormwood because they finally charged me for my D20, the gemstone D20 that I ordered, which I think means I'm going to get it soon, but I don't fucking know.
I mean, it sounds like, you're speaking logic.
You would assume that when you are charged for something, you would then receive the product, but it's America, so here we are.
You're not wrong.
With that being said, Dice Daddy, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so last time we were all together, we had met ourselves in the Grung village amongst the different colored Grung people, who are the very delightful, cute frog people of the region. After kind of collecting yourselves and collecting your supplies, the main Grung, Gava, who is a hot pink Grung, had decided to go meet Zunu with the 4 of you. Alder used his Step of the Wind spell, and a 2-day trip turned into about a 4 or 5 hour one. Eventually, you found yourselves outside of these 2 ornate statues and a underground kind of lair. You were guided by a pair of floating eyes, not all too unfamiliar, like a certain stone-shifting beast, but nothing of that regard. And eventually, you were in the chambers of Zunu, the all-powerful. There were a few words exchanged. He decided to give you a demonstration of his abilities, thus plucking something from each of your paths, just to kind of show his legitimacy. He requested, because you had requested him for questions, that he required slabs that were coveted by nearby lizard folk in their temple. The 5 of you had agreed and left, and we soon find you guys outside. It's about, I would say, 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening. When you first went in there, it was about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. As the 5 of you have convened outside of the 2 statues, Gava immediately throwing up the minute you have left Zunu's lair. So Gava, I believe he went into the forest to center himself. So it is currently the 4 of you outside of this temple preparing for the trip, which Alder has the coordinates in his head.
And also, I believe in the last, we ended the last episode by reaching out to Ashiki for information. And he said he will have more information for us in the morning.
Yes.
So just so that way we know that.
Is it still...
And the information was regarding the lizard god, right?
Yeah, anything he knows about the slabs, where we're going, anything he can to help us.
Okay.
And he said he's going to need a lot of coffee, or a lot of tea.
Tea. He doesn't drink coffee.
Tea, correct. That's why I corrected myself.
It's still nap time, right?
Yes, it's currently nighttime.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what else we can do until the morning.
Really, I think all that we can do at this point is try and rest, get all the information we can in the morning from Ashiki, and get on our way. Obviously, I can get us there quick. We know that. So,
Have y'all ever met lizard people before?
I don't think I have.
DM, have I ever met lizard people before?
Yeah, likewise. Still a no for me. Not that I can recall.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
what
not
I will
convinced they're
say-
real.
Sorry, what I will say is lizard people are very to themselves. Not a lot of knowledge is known about lizard people because they usually travel in packs. They're usually in deep swamp marsh areas, and they don't really convene with other bipedal or humanoid figures. So it's very secretive, and Drummel is kind of on the nose of maybe they're not real.
I mean, if none of us have ever seen it, what are the odds that they're real? There's 4 of us here.
I mean, I've never seen a furble before I met you.
Yeah, but
Now
now
I
you've
know.
seen one.
Yeah, but I knew that you existed. Well, not you specifically, but I knew furballs existed before I met you.
I mean, if you knew that he existed, boy, would that be a story.
Maybe
I
you see
mean-
everything.
The all-knowing creature that we just talked to told us that there was lizard people, so I would take his word for it.
Oh,
just logically.
you're just gonna trust Big Brother?
We're not having this argument today, Trimble.
All right.
I mean, it's tonight, so we could have a different argument.
Do you
Look,
think
I think we should just try and barricade ourselves somewhere, and just rest up, try and get a full night's rest. Because if I were them and I was guarding something as treasured as these slabs seem to be, we're probably in for a fight tomorrow.
I mean, we could definitely try and sneak our way about, but you're right. It's a potential bloodbath. So,
Did was there any indication when the Snake Man went into your brain that they had any idea that we would be coming?
DM, from what I recall, did he just give me a location, did not give me anything additional?
He gave you coordinates. That was about it. And he showed you what the slabs look like, he thinks.
Unfortunately, all that he put into my head is the location they are at, like the exact coordinates, and what he perceives them to be. I don't have anything further than that as to what they might be expecting, what they're gearing up, how they're guarded. I just know that they are inside. It looks like they are inside of a temple at the location that he put in my head, and that they look roughly, and then I'll take out my pad and try and draw what he put in my head that they look like. Obviously, not an artist, but they look kind of like this.
The slabs that Alder draws, they're very crude, not in the regard of his artistic ability, but just looking like they were almost like battered to this flat kind of shape, but they're still jagged, uneven. There are different markings that you would assume would be in a lizard folk vernacular. Different kind of pictures, different kind of symbols you can assume, just to that extent.
Huh. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. This whole evening has been a bit of a mind freak.
It's safe to say.
Hey, DM, where would you say we are in regards to like this setting, this location? Are we still in the mouth of the like structure, or
I would assume you had walked outside, kind of where the statues were.
Donna's gonna go kind of off to himself and like start to make camp,
Okay.
and just start setting up somewhere.
Okay. So without kind of a word during this exchange, Donner and Thok had been fairly quiet. And Donner actually, eventually, he starts moving and a nice distance away from the mouth entry, but he finds this nice brush and he starts setting up camp.
Hey, don't forget, no fire.
Question.
Yes. Answer.
Sorry, to the group.
Oh, sorry.
Do you guys think these slabs are like magical? Because I can't detect magic today, but I could potentially tomorrow. And if I'm assuming the location he gave you is like a general location, or do you happen to know if it's like the exact location?
From what it looks like, it's the exact location of where they are supposed to be, from what he knows.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm thinking about that I'm worried is I can get us there in a flash, but I wouldn't be able to get us to leave there in a flash until I've rested.
Understood.
So that's kind of what worries me more about the fact that we might not be able, like, even when it comes to fighting our way out, we don't know how much there's going to be there.
How far is it from here?
DM? I don't think we discussed that. I think we said it was probably. I think you said it might. I think you might have said it was about probably 3 hours if I wind walk.
Yeah, roughly. So normal distance would be, I'm not going to big brain it. So yeah, 3 hours, I would say.
All right.
So when we're flying full speed, 3 hours away.
Yeah, so we can't very well walk there.
I mean, we could, but it'll take us some time.
Well, let's see what Ashiki says in the morning.
Are we waiting for a message from him, or am I messaging him in the morning?
You already messaged him. He's gonna message
Tonight.
us back, because he's gonna drink a bunch of tea and then give us some information in the morning.
Got it.
I already think that I have everything that I need as far as spells go. So I think that I'm in a good spot for that. But DM, is there any kind of fruits or vegetation that I can find around?
Go ahead and roll a nature check, see if you can find and scavenge anything.
Okay. And I'll cast guidance on myself at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a no. It's a 6.
I would say it takes you, if you're truly just scavenging and looking, take about an hour and a half to find an ample amount of food for 4 people, not counting how much Thok and Donner and Drummel usually eat, enough for to get by. So eventually you're able to scavenge different kinds of mushroom, radishes, different kinds of edible flowers, things that are safe to eat. It just takes you a long time to get to it.
Gotcha. No berries or anything like that?
No swamp berries, unfortunately.
Okay. I had a feeling based on the landscape, but I figured I'd ask.
No, it's fair.
Well, I know we don't got much out here, but took me a while to find things that's safe to eat, but this should all be safe to eat.
Oh, thank you, Alder.
I'll eat anything, really. I could have also created food if you wanted.
Well, I mean, this at least has some flavor. No offense, but
No, none taken. I mean, I magically
I know you-
create it. I don't cook it.
You know it doesn't taste that great.
Nah.
About Dice Daddy.
Yes,
About what time of the day is it now?
I'm that boy. I would say after Alder's kind of like search, roughly 11.
Oh, so it's late.
Yeah, you guys came out at like, what did I say, 9 or 10?
That sounds right.
10. Okay.
All right.
So
All right.
what have you guys been doing while Alder has been searching for about an hour and a half?
I probably would have just pulled out my journal that I've been working in and continued writing in that.
Okay.
And I would have, if Manu was around, I would have probably asked him if he had any questions that he would probably want Zunu to answer. If he was curious about anything, or
He would look at you. At some point, Manu does show up, and you ask him, you're like, what would be something that you would want to know? And he kind of sits for a moment, and he goes, I'd want to know why I'm here with you. Why I'm not in the Shadowfell, or why my patron hadn't taken me, but chose. I don't know.
no, that's a fair question.
Yeah. What are you gonna ask him?
I have a couple thoughts in my head. If he allows us to ask more than one question, I would ask both. But
What are the questions?
one, I want to know what Anubis wants with me.
Okay.
And two, I want to know where the nearest port that I can relocate with my ship would be.
So, I mean, I guess you have to figure out which one's more pressing. Where
The
you can
one-
find your ship, or what does our God want with you?
One of them is a question that I would consider selfish for me, and the other one would be one that I would consider selfless for everyone.
That is where you and I differ, Garash. Wouldn't be a question.
I guess we'll find out once we have to ask the question.
So during that time, Donna, are you doing anything in particular besides setting up the camp?
I would be in my tent,
Okay.
and for the first time in a long time, I'm kind of sitting towards the back of my tent, and I have both arms outstretched.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of mumbling under my breath, asking for some guidance, some ideas, and if my friend were to know anything about these gods or people we were about to encounter.
Okay. So you concentrate. You outstretch your hands, you breathe, and you try concentrating on your friend. And you consistently just kind of come back to what you heard before in the words that Zunu said in your wife's voice. And the fact that you've heard her since a very long time. You kind of shift and you concentrate, but nothing comes to you in the form of a smell of lilac or a grunt or a push. But eventually, after a while, when your arms start to tingle and you feel cold all over your body, you feel just very softly, just a warm kind of press against your chest before you kind of open and you're back in your tent.
That's what I'm doing. And I would just, I'm going to be in my tent for the night. I'm just going to eat rations that I have.
Okay. So you kind of lay on your back, hand under your head, and you have your rations kind of resting on your chest as you're just kind of thinking. Eventually, Alder does come back, and it is the three of you at the campfire. It looks like Donner has secluded himself for the night as the three of you kind of prepare this kind of hot meal of different kinds of vegetation and things that Alder was able to scrounge up as the three of you sit amongst each other, as Dremel writes in his journal and Thok occasionally talks to Manu, and Alder, you look at Aya as eventually Gava does come back, and he looks kind of worse for wear, just stressed as he kind of sits back down next to a free space on the kind of campfire.
How you holding up there, Gava?
Gava will be okay. Gava prayed to the elders and tried to recenter. Gava will be okay.
You hungry?
All right.
Yes, Gava could eat.
I take a portion of my ration that Alder brought us, and I hand it to Galba.
And he kind of palms it. He has like this makeshift little bowl on his side of his accoutrement, which just looks like it's a cup, a bowl, some kind of like small dagger, things that you would use for tools on like a belt. Puts it in, and you just see him, and he just kind of eats, but he's listening and paying attention to all of you, and he kind of looks around and goes, "Did Donna go to sleep early?"
Yeah, he
He
seems
does
to be
that sometimes.
He seems to be a little bit in his own head right now.
May I ask a question, or is it too intrusive?
I mean, you're already
Depends on-
asking.
Depends on the question, I guess.
The voices that Zunu did. Do you know who they were?
Yeah.
I know who mine were.
Same.
I mean, yeah, I knew who mine was.
I assume it is something deeply personal, only one I understood because I know a little bit common, and that was Doc. Others, I am sorry, I did not know, but it seemed personal. Was it parent or spouse that talked to you?
No, it was a friend.
Friend.
Yeah, someone who took me out of a very dark place and gave me hope again when I needed it most.
And Aldo's kind of picking at his nails and kind of like down in his own head, and kind of looks up to Dremel and be like, "Mine was my father." I look at Dremel just obviously because he understands Elvish, so he heard what was said to me.
And still making eye contact with Alder, kind of soaking in the not the subliminal, but the message he's sending me. I turn my head toward Gava and I say, "Those are some of my best friends up on the mountain, and as far as I'm aware, they are no longer with us. Just as the rest of my tribe is no longer with us."
I'm sorry. I did not know your tribe had been taken.
Yeah, it's something I kind of bury deep down and try to drown with alcohol. But it's here. It's always there. That's why I'm here, trying to get information about the man who did it.
Is that your question that you are going to ask him?
Yeah, I don't know how to word it yet, because something tells me he's like a monkey paw and will be very, very specific with his answer.
I don't know that analogy, but it sounds scary.
Yeah, we can go over it another time.
Okay.
With that being said, though, Gava, you don't have to come with us on the rest of this journey, right?
I know.
Like, there is an incredibly high likelihood that this might be a one-way mission.
Gava understands. Gava not like he used to be. Gava used to be strong. Gava's strong in other way, but not young anymore. Gava can wait here. Look after everything. You don't come back in a few days. Gava can leave.
Okay.
Gava have people who need him.
That's also what I was saying, is you kind of have a village that looks like you're a big part of. And if you got some of the clarity that you've been looking for today, even though it doesn't seem like it was positive, I'd prefer it if you didn't make the journey with us to put your life in jeopardy.
And he nods and he goes, I got closure. All Gava wanted.
Good.
Gava had one more question.
Shoot.
Then he looks over at Donner's tent and he goes, who do you think Donner here?
I mean, it was a woman, from what I heard. I'd bet that it was his wife.
Could be.
You understand what say? I didn't understand. Points at Drummel. I don't know what language your friend was saying, or I assume Elvish.
Did we understand? Okay, I didn't think so. No. Didn't understand it, but she sounded frantic, distraught,
I would say distressed, yeah.
and I'm sure that's what's rattling around in his head right now.
Makes sense.
Do you have marriage in your tribe?
Yes, Grung will choose life mate, whether that be male, female, male, male, female, female. Grung have ability that if Grung want to reproduce, Grung simply change gender. And then if Grung unhappy with result, Grung either change back or Grung adapt.
I can see that.
There's a certain freedom that comes with that, I feel.
Yes, sometime when you tadpole and you grow up, you don't feel you are in right body. And whether that be through ritual of changing color or through changing of gender, all very sacred, all very important, all different color.
Did you ever have a life mate?
No. Gava concentrate on being strong, being warrior. Eventually, Gava last of his color. Gava just tried to lead nephew and rest of tribe and maybe new pink color come.
Well, if all the pink grung are as insightful as you, the world needs more.
And you see like a little smirk, and he goes, "Thank you, you humble grung. Grung tired as well. Grung will and he points at one of the trees. Grung go to sleep now."
All right. Hey, you mentioned no fire. Is there anything else we need to not do? Are we safe here?
Zunu know we here now. Nothing come close to Zunu without Zunu say. Should be safe. Could light small fire. Not big. Stay low.
You got it.
I go high. And you see him, and he kind of puts, you see that he puts his 3 appendages and his legs onto the tree, and he sticks onto it and just climbs up the this very large, dead, kind of rotting tree, and he gets to the top of it, and you see this very little hint of pink that kind of blends in with the deep navies and blues of the night sky, as he kind of settles himself, and you see his staff kind of resting, as he crosses his arms and closes his eyes, as the 3 of you are sitting there amongst the little camp that you made.
I think that Donner and Gava have the right idea. I'm gonna hit the head.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. I'll stay up and keep first watch, and I think I don't know what you think, but I think maybe we should let Donna get all the rest tonight and have him not take a shift.
Yeah, we'll give him some time.
All right. Who wants first watch after me? I'll take 4 hours, so that way you guys get more rest.
Thawk, you mind
I'll
taking
take-
second watch?
Of course. I don't mind.
Okay. Go ahead and get some rest then. I'll keep an eye out and get you if we need anything.
Oh, Dremel lets out a huge yawn, and he says, "All right. Good night, fellas. Tomorrow's gonna be a interesting day."
For lack of a better word, you are probably correct.
I am the big brain mountain boy.
That's why they call you.
And that, as he says that, a small, a little bit of misty eye comes into his eye, a little bit of a smirk frown, and he turns and walks away toward his tent.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I'll come get you, Thok, when it's your turn.
No problem. I'll promise not to attack or hurt you in any way.
Can't be worse than the headache that I got that one time.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. Good night, Thok.
Good night. I'll head to bed.
Okay. So Alder, during your watch, you kind of hear the very low grumblings of the swamp, the occasional clicks and chatters of different insects as you kind of are bearing a hole into the middle of this I wouldn't say you don't have a campfire, but the center of where you were all sitting. Excuse me. With the sounds and the words that your father said to you kind of still ringing in your ear, you're slightly brought back to that moment. To the moment of when you were packing your things and your mother was there, and you remember your mother, her very slender face. You remember what she was wearing that day. It was this almost pink kind of laced gown with a lot of tulle around the shoulders. This very knitted crown that looks like it was weaved and carved out of different kinds of silvers that your father would have made for her. And she had these very piercing green eyes that you had gotten from her. As you remember her looking at you almost, she never got anxious, but you saw that she was slightly playing with her fingers kind of back and forth as you remember the soft words of kind of escaping from her lips of, do you really have to go? Can you not stay here with us? If you want to remember what you said.
Father agrees that this is what's best for me and for your business.
It's not just our business, and she kind of stops you from kind of putting everything together. It's our business.
No, this isn't the business that grandfather would have wanted. And I do that as I pick up the staff.
And she smiles and she goes, you did love that thing.
And this is a constant reminder of that where we're from, what we do, what life is supposed to be. And I don't like the way that things are changing. And I don't like the way that things have become. I understand that it's a way of life, but I don't think it can be my way of life.
And she smiles sadly as she goes, I understand. You will write, yes?
Of course.
And she goes, I do have something for you. I know that you have a love of animals just like your grandfather did. And you see her, and she pulls up this very, in her kind of one of her pockets, there's this very small speckled kind of orb she gives you. And she goes, in one of my walks, I had found a nest, and the nest had been broken. It seemed that an asp had come and eaten most of these eggs, but it looks like there's one left. Now, in your travel, if you see any other birds, perhaps you can keep them together. Keep the offspring. And she puts this very small egg in your hand. And you remember your mother. And you remember to write her.
Mom, just because I'm going away doesn't mean I don't love you. Remember that.
She smiles and places your face between her hands, and she kisses the crown of your head. And she goes, we'll be here when you get back. Take all the time you need.
I just hope that when I come back, things haven't changed as much as I think they will.
And she smiles and she goes, you know your father.
Yes, I do.
And those words of ringing kind of go around as you look to the right and you see Ion. And you remember all the years of mating and breeding that brought you to this most recent hawk. As she kind of looks at you and looks to the side as you kind of reach out and brush under her neck. As your watch is fairly quiet, besides the clicks and the chirps of the swamp before you eventually get to Thok.
All right, Thok. Your turn for watch. And as he says that, as he's kind of misty-eyed over the entire watch that he had.
Yes.
You okay?
A lot to think about when you're sitting alone at night with nothing happening.
I know what you mean. We'll get some rest, buddy.
Thank you.
Alder, eventually you get back into your tent, you lay on your side.
Well, time to trance.
And as you kind of sit cross-legged, go to that between sleep and conscious state as Aya nestles herself in that space between your where your feet and your legs meet. As Thok, you are currently seated, and across from you is Manu. His knees are kind of up to his chin as he's picking at his fingers, looking back at you, looking down at the center of the space, and he goes, "What do you think? What do you think I'm really doing here? Is this a test? Do you think this is a test?"
Look, your guess is as good as mine. We've both served under that same patron, and we both know that he's not a very straightforward god. So, who the fuck knows?
Death is fickle, but I was promised something. I was promised when I died I would die. And I'm stuck here with you.
And you could be stuck with words.
Then he kind of like looks around and he goes, "We're in the middle of a swamp, Garash. I'm from a desert. I'm usually alone, and now I'm here with you."
Maybe there were things that were left that you haven't learned yet when you were alive. Maybe seeing that being part of a group, for example, and not being alone all the time. You need to learn something before he let you move on.
I would just like some answers, Garash. I just want
why
peace.
That's why we're going where we're going. We'll get you your answers. Hopefully we'll get me one of mine. And maybe your answer may help with mine. Who knows? Because you weren't exactly straightforward with your answers. I mean, I'm still kind of confused about it. All I know is that you were sent to bring me back.
I was sent to bring you because we were supposed to be the left and right hand of death. We were supposed to bring the Shadowfell back to its owner.
Back to the Raven Queen? Or
Taken
back to
from
Anubis?
Back to death. Back to Anubis. However, he didn't come directly like he does to you, or so it would seem. Different messages, different things in my head. I hadn't laid eyes upon him. And I thought, when I died, perhaps I would take that seat, or at least I would die.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to be the left nor the right hand of death. That's not what I want.
and what do you want?
Personally,
Personally.
I want to live life. I want to help others. What?
Nothing.
Do you
It's
have no
just,
compassion? You obviously cared about someone.
I cared about a
Otherwise-
lot of things.
I'm not talking about things. I'm talking about people.
It's a very optimistic way of looking at things, that's all.
Then I guess if me and you were meant to be the right and left hand of God, or death, it would seem that we would be opposites on many different things.
we would work well together. At least we would have.
I mean, we're working together now. We're trying to get you answers. I might be optimistic, but you're pessimistic as fuck. I've been there,
I am.
and I refuse to live that way.
And he kind of sighs. And you see him stand up, and he sits next to you. And you're kind of like side by side. You actually can feel the body heat from whatever he's radiating. And he goes, if we're going to work together, I feel like there has to be something more I can do besides being in your ear. I've been thinking. And I would like to try something. Can I try something? Do you trust me enough?
Yeah. Ironically enough, I don't know how or why, but I do. I feel like you're being genuine.
Okay.
What do you want to try?
Can you stretch your hand out, but not by the tents, not by the tents. I've been testing this, arguably while you've been sleeping. So please don't think it odd. And
I mean, I have woken up to you just staring at me, so it's fine.
there's a reason.
I know, I look that good. Hello. Have you not seen this face?
I have. I can't stop looking at the face.
Exactly.
And he moves your arm, and you feel his hand kind of move. And he goes, I can't. I don't think I can make you do this because I've been trying. I need you to feel it. Does that make sense?
Feel what?
Okay. When you were a kid, or a little half orc, quarter orc, 3/4 orc, green guy,
I know what you mean.
were you ever frustrated, not angry, frustrated, and determined to change an outcome?
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's everyone.
Do you remember that feeling? Can you call upon that feeling?
I mean,
Just close your eyes and think of it. Kind of outstretch your hand. You're like, this is fucking ridiculous. And Manu's like, just think of that frustration kind of building in your chest. Allow it to travel from your chest to your bicep, your forearm, and he gets quieter as he's kind of tracing out. And he goes, your wrist, palm, and as he's kind of describing this, you start feeling this heat kind of come from your chest and start going up your shoulder and out to your hand until he goes, you just hear very lowly, I knew it would work. As you kind of open one eye and you see that your hand is completely engulfed in this very purple amethyst flame. Before looking at it, you break that concentration, that feeling drops, and it immediately goes out. And he goes, fucking, okay, we almost have that. We're going to work on that.
what
Okay.
was that?
That was us working together. I could do that. You couldn't do that before me, right?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
So,
We can work as a right and left hand, Garash. Not to the extent of course, you have the reins here, but we could be a team. To an extent, of course.
so I can channel you.
I don't know. There's been times while you've been sleeping and I've wanted you to combust into flames, and obviously
great.
that hasn't
Thanks.
happened, but while your blundering nose was snoring, I would see an occasional flame come out of your mouth. And that is how I know.
How do we strengthen? Like, I'm slightly speechless. I don't know what.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, maybe we should keep practicing then.
It would make me feel a lot more useful than being your fucking shadow, so I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, I want to help. Like, potentially help you move on, help you find answers, and you can help me.
Okay. Let's make a deal right now. I give you my ability to the best of my ability. And
Or
in return, you find out how I can just die. That's all I want. And you see him, he actually puts a hand out. No funny business, I promise. I just need this.
okay, deal. I'll stretch my hand.
Put your hand out and you actually clasp hands and you shake and you feel flesh and bone.
But are you sure this is what you want? You don't want to find a way to come back?
No. I'm at peace with it and I would just like to move on.
Okay. I don't know how long it'll take, but we will figure it out together. I will help you die, essentially, and you help me live.
And you both kind of lean forward in this silence as your watch is fairly uneventful. As eventually you go to wake up Drummel.
I walk over. How's he sleeping?
How's Drummel sleeping?
Yeah. Like, is
How
he
are you
sleeping,
sleeping?
like, on his back, on his side?
How you sleeping, Drum?
You remember Sid from Toy Story?
So
Yeah.
ass up.
Yeah.
Right.
He whispers something about wanting to ride the pony.
I want to ride the pony. Let me ride it.
Ride that pony.
To wake him up, I use thaumaturgy to kind of like have like the smell of mushrooms under his nose.
Okay.
To see if it wakes him up.
Are they cooked mushrooms? Do I know what kind? Do you know what kind?
I know what mushrooms taste like, so I would say
It's my.
But are they
Well,
Do
smell
you
of
know
it.
what kind?
are they the fun kind or are they the nutritious kind?
what I would assume fun kind would smell like, because Fox doesn't know.
So it just smells like cotton candy.
It smells like
Sure,
that or farts.
Both.
both. A mixture
Fart
of the
cotton
two.
candy. Cotton.
I would say cotton candy on one nose and farts on the other.
Oh man. Smells
I
like
smell-
a beautiful woman farted through a sugar cube.
Hot damn.
Where are you, pretty? Oh, hey, Thok.
Oh, hey, Drum. I
do you-
was just about to wake you up.
Do you have sugar cubes?
No. I can create bland food if you're hungry, but no.
No, I'm good. Man, that dream was strong. Is it?
Was it vivid?
Yeah, I could smell it, man.
Those are the best kinds.
I've never smelled a dream before. I think I'm growing as a person.
Hey, maybe your powers of dreaming are growing stronger.
Shit. Man, that's great.
Yeah, just don't dream about shit. Just that would not be good.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be smelling it all day.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Well,
Is it my turn now?
it is.
And Dremel does a big old stretch. All right. Why don't you go sleep, and I'll make sure we don't get murdered.
I appreciate you.
That's always good.
I appreciate you.
I walk away just like laughing.
And Dremel gets up, kind of shakes off the cobwebs, does that thing from which James Bond movie is that where Superman cocks his arms?
Oh, that's Mission Impossible, like 5.
Okay, so yeah, I do
They're
that.
doing the Henry Cavill arm load,
That's how I wake up in the morning.
and you hear as your arms almost cock.
And then I walk outside, and did we end up did Alder make a small fire?
That's an Alder question.
We were told no fire, so I didn't create something that was. I didn't create an actual fire.
Yeah, okay. So then I walk outside to where just the center of all the tents and kind of sit down, look around, and start my meditation.
Your meditation. Okay. You kind of breathe in, and after a bit, kind of like with Alder, you start remembering. It's been quite some time since you heard Barbet and Seder speak, as you're kind of taken back to climbing the mountain. As Barbara and Seder, you remember the winds kind of howling, whipping around your legs and your arms, feeling this total freeze chill, your hair kind of whipping into your face as you're looking over at your friends, and they look at each other and they look at you and they go, "So do you think this is a good idea?"
I think it's the only idea we got.
And they look back at each other and they look at you. You're doing the accent again.
This is the way I like to talk. You know that.
Well, I feel like he's doing that accent again. Well, he likes to talk that way. We'll help you up the way. And they pick you up and kind of put you on one of their shoulders as they start climbing up this mountain bit by bit. And Babbitt kind of looks over at you and he goes, This thing, it's gonna do it, right? It's gonna kill him.
It is the only way that we have, the only lead we have. I do not know if it will kill him for sure, but I believe it will.
Why are you doing the accent again? You're doing a different accent now. Why are you doing all these accents?
I do not know what you are talking about, but
You're doing the...
this is just my voice. This is the person that I am.
And Satter kind of looks over at Barbet and goes, "Just let him do the French accent. He likes the French accent." He's like, "Yeah, but I don't like the French accent or the country accent or the Russian one. Oh, it's confusing. I feel like he's got that schizophrenia thing."
Yet.
See, he's doing it. He's doing it on purpose. And
See.
Satter's like, "Just let him just get his fill. You know he's messing with you. Don't let him get in here." As he kind of puts his hand up, you all kind of dip a little bit.
Hey, watch yourself.
Puts his hand back up. Sorry. As they kind of keep climbing up. So, Babbitt kind of asks, "What are we going to do when we get it? When we kill him?"
Well, we're going to watch the life drain from his eyes. And that's as far as I've gotten.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like you say it yourself. You're the big brain boy on top of the mountain, of all mountains. All of them.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever said that, but I think you're right.
No,
Now,
I feel like you said that verbatim.
well, Those are your words. Now, if I were to tell you the plan, then maybe you would fuck it up. And I can't do that. I got to keep it all up here and keep you two on a need-to-know basis. Is that okay with you?
Both kind of look at each other, and you say that, and he's like, I feel like we don't get paid enough for that job. And Babbitt kind of looks at him, he's like, you're getting paid for this.
I pay you by not killing you.
Yeah, no, I do like living. Yeah, no, living's good. We're good with living, sir. As you're kind of like in between them, and you kind of have your arms around both of their necks as you're getting higher and higher up this mountain. And you're at the peak, and you kind of feel this surge of energy that you remember. And they're kind of over to the side, kind of huddled as the winds start getting heavier and heavier as you get to the center of the mountain. You see this very small, almost like it can't be this small. Something so powerful that you've read about and you've heard about. It looks like it could fit in the palm of your hand as you hear one of them go, just be careful, sir. Just don't want you to turn into an icicle.
I being careful.
I feel like he's not being careful.
Man, I'm being careful. It's fucking idiots.
And you remember outstretching your hand, and you remember every single mean thing you've heard growing up. That you weren't good enough. That you were this weak, pathetic thing. But now you were going to get stronger. And you were going to kill that thing that was killing everyone else. And these idiots brought you to it. And as you outstretched your hand, and you remember your whole body just coming cold and freezing before you kind of just look back at the center, and the memory just kind of fades as the slow chirps and the clicks kind of come back. As you kind of look around you, and there's actually a frost in about a 10-foot radius around you. As you kind of brush and shake and brush out of your fur the snow and slush, as the rest of your night is fairly quiet.
Oh, one other thing that I want to do while I'm still up.
Yeah.
After that experience, Dremel's going to kind of sit in it for a little bit longer. Not just get out of it and just, go about his day. He's going to attempt to meditate in the space of that anger and that pain from all the negativity he heard his entire life, and try to integrate it into himself and not try to control it as opposed to being controlled by it.
Right. So you refocus. It's almost like you're drinking poison and you're trying to grow an immunity to it as you let this anger fill you and let it quell and bubble as you feel it spread and dissipate in your body.
Kind of shake it off. I feel my joints loosen. I feel my head lighter. Take a deep breath and just exhale as slow as possible. And then I just sit around looking at the nature around us, contemplating what we're about to get ourselves into.
Okay.
And maybe practicing my French accent a little bit.
And you start reeling in that French accent. You're like, I remember I liked that accent. Shit. So you might throw it on someone. And finally we'll come to Donner. Despite not having a watch, you do dream. As you kind of sit in your side, and you hear, as you're kind of drifting off after eating, the plate on your chest, you kind of move to the side and kind of rest your hands. And you hear kind of little chats with Gava and whatnot. And you hear Gava mention your name a few times, and you're dumb, but you're not brain dead. You can kind of deduce what they're talking about when they mention you. And because we're doing a flashback episode, it's a bottle episode, you're kind of brought back to, you remember the crunching of leaves and the kind of squelching of different kind of beast flesh as you remember one of your first battles that you had alongside your friends, one of them being your wife. You remember the clanging and the metal and the copper smell between the rust on your swords and shields and the squelching of the beasts that you were kind of destroying. And you remember at one point while you were kind of swinging this axe over, this kind of almost perfect moment of your wife, her hair golden, like the sunlight was hitting it just right. It almost looked like it was weaved out of gold as her hair was kind of coming to the side as she was upswinging. And you see this giant bloody gash mark just completely soak her as she was the most beautiful thing that you had ever seen in your life in this kind of rage quelled war bloodlust. And you remember both of you locking eyes. And at this point you had a slight attraction to her, but in that moment, there were only the two of you. And you remember amongst all of the chaos, your best friend, your other two friends, it was like a gang of you for sorts, your brothers also fighting. That in the middle of this, of all this carnage, the two of you locked eyes and immediately just came together in one just awesome first kiss that is just full of gore and cartilage. And it was so perfectly you two. And you remember the night after that when all of your friends were celebrating around the fire. Your friend less than thrilled because the woman of your infatuation was in fact his sister. As the five of you were kind of sitting around, the six of you. And you remember the two of you kind of going off to the side with a bottle of honey wine and the smell of the campfire kind of to the side. And you remember her kind of soft chuckle and that kind of wrinkle in her nose when you would try to undermine how strong she was in a playful way. And you remember that first night with her under the stars of no coverage. You didn't even think about any kind of blankets or pillows or any kind of shelter. You just animals and living in an animal kind of environment. Yes, you had been with many women before, but this was different. And in this kind of moment, you knew that this person, you wanted this person to be with you for the rest of your life. And you remember how sad she was on her wedding day when she woke up and her hair was mostly, if not all, gone and clipped off, and how angry you felt. But in hindsight, remembering everything that happened after that, that it was kind of almost the best thing that might have happened for you. As you kind of drift off and you have this small kind of like smirk as you feel that for a moment. And eventually, Dremel, the suns start to come up. You breathe in, breathe out, do your ritual, put on that French accent face. I really want to see if he does the accent. As morning slowly starts to come and you see the very dull pink creature that was in the tree become more vibrant because the sun is slowly coming out as it is now morning and all of you prepare for your journey. So as you talk amongst yourselves, I'm going to the restroom real quick.
Is everyone up?
I am, for sure.
Yeah, I'm awake.
Yeah.
All right. As everyone comes together, for Justin, do my French accent. Good morning, everyone. Are you ready to go to the Lizard Temple? Perhaps we will find some tablets, some good ratatouille.
Yeah, you're not my brother.
What are you talking about? I am talking the same way that you do.
Does anyone else want to take this? I think it's too early because I took the longer watch.
Did
I don't know what's happening.
Did you hit your head like in the night? Did you get your Dremel, right?
Yeah, man, it's called acting, theater.
I'm good at that.
All right, so I used to when I was still with my family and my whole village, I was kind of I don't know, the quirky one. I would put on shows for people ever since I was a
No,
kid.
you were the quirky one.
Oui, I was the quirky one, and they would love this character that I would do. I called it Jean Saint Pierre. He was a lovely man. He loved to fight with his muscles, and yeah, so that's what I would do sometimes, and people would really like it. And I was thinking, I had some time to think while y'all were all asleep, and you're kind of my new family, so I wanted to share that part of myself with you. You stupid fuckers. And
John
Dremel just flashes a
Park
big ass
Fuller?
smile.
What was the name? John Park Fuller?
It was Jean Saint Pierre.
Jean Saint Pierre.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. That's going to be something I don't soon forget. So, thank you.
I got you,
Jean,
man.
Whatever makes you happy.
what other kind of accents can you do?
Well, let's see. I got this one. I have John, of course, as you have now been introduced. I've got the older accent, of course. This is Alden. I'm your brother, remember?
Yeah.
course.
Been over it.
We remember that one really well. That was a good one.
I like that one a lot too. I've got this one, which is just kind of like, I don't know, your average dude.
So what's your actual accent?
Man, it's been so long, I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it's this one, but I couldn't tell you. It's actually this one.
Okay.
There was a deep. All right. Okay.
I used to be able to do a northeastern kind of very tough, I don't even know how to describe it. There's no Russia here, so I can't describe it as Russian. But think of the people who really like to drink potato alcohol and bears.
Barovia.
Oh yeah, I can do a Barovian accent, but I can't do it anymore. I don't know why.
What's Barovia?
It's in a different realm. It's
Gotcha. Okay.
been there, done that.
As much as I'm loving this conversation, I'm pretty sure we've got some business to attend to, and it's not going to be easy. So the more sunlight we get, probably the better. So we should probably kind of get on our way. Where's Gava? Is he coming with us?
No, Gava is going to stay here and for a couple days, and if we don't come back, then he's going to go home.
Got it. So he's only going to stay with us if we survive. If we die, he's going to leave. Got it.
Basically, yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, Gavin,
Yeah.
you up?
And you say that, you see the kind of pink fluorescent frog grung stir and looks down at you and goes, Gava has been up. Yes.
Well, we're about to head out. Come on down. I got something for you.
You're the next contestant on.
Family
And you-
feud.
And you see him, and he walks down head first, kind of down the tree as you see him stick to it, and eventually he kind of is able to release his legs and kind of do this awkward handstand up almost unnaturally as you hear the cartilage in his spine kind of crack as he kind of holds his back and he goes, Gava should not have done that. Gava not as young as Gava used to be. Yes.
Well,
Do you need some help with that, or are you okay?
Gava will be fine.
Okay.
well, luckily, I think my gift will help out with that a little bit. And Dremel reaches into his bag, pulls out that wine that Vindrin made for us so long ago.
Yes.
And I say, this was the first person that treated us like people in a long, long time. And she made this wine for us. I was saving it for a special occasion, and I think I think now might be that time. And I take my first swig. I pass it off to Donner to take a swig.
Take a swig out. The wine is almost syrupy. I wouldn't say it's thick, but it's very sweet. The alcohol content is, you would assume, would be very low, but as you kind of take the swig and you put it back down, your head buzzes a little bit, as if there was a lot of sugar put into this to make it as sweet. But alcohol does live off of sugar, as you know. And I wouldn't say it's thick, but it isn't incredibly thin. And it has this very nice, pleasant, almost like a cranberry tartness to it right at the end as you pass it over to Donner.
That was good. I'm glad I waited as long as I did for this. Well, go ahead.
With it being from Vindrin, Donna will break his chain of sobriety of recently and take a sip.
Take a sip, and it's very delightful. It's not something that you're usually used to, as you're not one for wines, but very pleasant.
I hand it over to Thok.
I'll take a swig, and if Manu's next to me, I would instinctually kind of give it, but I know that he can't awkwardly, like, oh.
You put
sorry.
the bottle out, and he looks at it, and then looks back at you, and he's like,
sorry. And hand it over to Grung? What the hell is his name again?
Pass it to
Gava.
Alder. Pass it to Alder first.
Oh, Alder. Sorry, I thought Alder had it.
First you tried to pass it to a ghost, now you're giving it to him first.
I give it to the frog. What the fuck, man?
And I just kind of like nod over to Dremel like, thank you. And take a swig. Be like, I don't know about all you guys, but I did not get sleep, so this is kind of nice right now.
As you feel it kind of warm.
And I hand it over to Gava.
And as he passes it to Gava, I reiterate, this represents the first time that we were ever truly a group, a family. And I feel like you're part of it now. And if we don't come back, I want you to share that with the rest of your tribe in a way that I never could.
And you see him, and he nods, and he looks at the bottle, and he puts his hand out for the cork.
I hand it to him.
And you see him, and he goes, Gava will sip. And you see him recork it when you come back. And you see him, and he sits cross-legged. And you see him put the bottle next to him by his knee. And he looks at the four of you sternly.
Speaking of Vindrin, we haven't talked about her in a while. What do you guys think about, like, naming our little group after her? Or have it having something to do with her? Or she is what kind of brought us together, other than the prison, which is not a great story.
Yeah, and something calling ourselves like the escapees of prison just doesn't seem like a good name.
I mean, it seems like we could get away from stuff, if that's the kind of angle it's shooting for. But heroic and good do-gooders, probably not top of the list for that.
And considering, if you ask me, all the quote-unquote crimes we're wanted for, I think they were all just. We were doing the right things. So, yeah, calling ourselves prisoners or something along the lines of that, I think Vindrin's a much better idea. Do you have something in mind?
No, I just think it would be nice.
I'm always happy to honor Vindrin. She brought us together. She's someone I'm always going to want to protect. I mean, Vanguard? We're kind of her protectors.
I was gonna say, could you describe that a little bit, big brain boy?
I
What's a
could,
Vanguard?
if you give me a second to search in my brain.
Normal brain blast.
What is a Vanguard? Oh,
Siri.
Not
Well,
that.
there's a lot of ways to describe Vanguard.
Why are you talking into that rock? Who's Siri?
Oh, there we
Some
go.
of the ways you could describe a Vanguard would be as follows.
Let me retcon that a little bit and say she really changed how we thought about ourselves and made us a group of people leading the way in new development or ideas.
Say it more like a little kid. And it's a school project.
A group of people leading the way in new development or ideas.
The idea is we're friends.
That's another accent I can do. Do you know
The
that?
little kid. We don't talk about him right now.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, he's a monster.
I forgot about that. That's sad.
Don't say his name.
Yeah, no, not here, not right now.
So,
I'm open to Vindrin's Vanguard or Valor or any other kind of V names that sound good.
Vinegar. Rather
No-
just spitballing.
yeah, no, it was a good suggestion, but I don't think it kind of fits the aesthetic we're going for.
I feel like you're being nice.
what was the word you said?
No.
Vinegar.
Valor?
Vinegar.
Vindrin's vinegar. Strokes.
The vinegar.
Brother,
Biscuits.
he was talking to me. We got yours.
Sorry.
That is noted.
I think more.
The only other words that I could think of that start with a V are not that great. So,
Vasectomy.
vermin.
Virgin.
Vagina. No.
Forgot you're gay sometimes.
Yeah.
I think now that you described what a Vanguard is, I think that's perfect.
So what rings better, the Vanguard of Vindrin or Vindrin's Vanguard?
I like Vindrin's Vanguard.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Well, let's.
we're not just friends now; we're a group.
Yeah, a group of people leading the way in new development or ideas.
Wow,
Vindrin's
you described
Vanguard?
that so well.
Thanks, man. It's like I got a. It's like I got an eye-un in my head.
It's
Oh,
a beautiful
shit.
thing.
Speaking
Oh
of Ayun,
shit!
Oh, fuck.
speaking of Ayun, guess we got to get in touch with the Shiki Han before we go.
I thought he was getting in touch with us.
I mean, I don't think he can get in touch with us while we're in flight. So
Yeah, you
Shit,
gotta.
That's what I asked yesterday.
He can't message like you can he? You gotta say, hey, what's up, hello.
You think it'll be waking him up? Well, he did say in the morning, right?
Yeah,
He did
I think
say
he also implied that he was pulling an all-nighter for us.
yeah. I mean, it's only morning o'clock. I don't think it's too early.
True. All right. What should I ask? Just, hey, what did you discover?
Yeah, what information do you have for us?
Well, I would say good morning first. We want to be polite.
You don't have to do that. He understands.
My brother's very smart. You should say
I've
good
been-
morning.
I've been reading this book that's teaching me how to converse, and I heard good morning is something that you like to say in the morning as a greeting to be polite.
What book is that?
It's a book that Ashiki gave me. Teaches me how to be a better person because I kind of suck at communicating. You guys know that.
Yeah, we do.
I'm trying. I really am.
Character development.
How to make friends and influence people.
You're really gritty.
How to be friends with more than just trees and birds.
The Alder story.
Human, how to be one.
Oh.
I'm not a human. I'm an elf. Okay.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and cast this then. I'll cast sending. And say, Good morning, Ishiki. How was your night? Did you find anything relevant to our cause? Also, do you have more information? We appreciate you. Thanks. That's funny.
As-
I
After
don't know.
saying that, everyone is staring at you, including Manu, who looks just flabbergasted
Look, I'm
by
not
how
good at.
gentle you're acting. You're like, hey, don't want to bother you. Hey, it's me, Thok.
I don't.
I just moved here.
I'll meet
I
you
feel
by
like
the
he wants to like
flagpole.
re-record a voicemail, like not press X to redo it. Like
Fuck. Delete.
Troy will meet you at the flagpole in 30 minutes.
Thanks, Abed.
So there's a moment that passes, and as you get the voice message, you kind of hear in the background, you kind of hear, okay, sorry, I'm. Hello, Thok. Yes. Oh, so loud. Yes, I did find a few things about your friends. Does that count as a word? Oh no, that's more words. Which ones am I? And there's a pause. Oobtow.
We don't hear this, right?
No, just Thok. Thok and arguably Manu. Manu just kind of looks at you and he's like, is he drunk?
Yeah. Did he say Ooptow?
Do you know what Ooptow is?
No. Do you?
No, I don't know what a Ooptow is.
Oh, fuck, I'm gonna have to like send him another damn message.
Okay, while he's saying Ooptow, everyone roll a religion check to see if you know what Ooptow is.
I'm gonna roll it with guidance.
Oh, I need to take a long rest. Shit, I forgot to do this.
Yes, please take your long rest.
That's a 15 for Ooptow.
Okay, great. Drem.
I got a 10.
Actually, Drem, Donner, you two can actually take it at advantage.
Then I got a natural 20.
Okay, actually roll the dice first, Drem.
Well, I did. I actually I rolled a second one just for fun, and then you told me.
Did
I
you
got it.
really?
I did, yeah.
Okay, and Donner?
I got a 16.
16. So, Drem, in your learnings and of your readings, and you remember sitting at your little desk at school, Oobtow is a very old god, usually along the lines of one of the first material gods, apart from the Mount Celestia gods and whatnot. And he is usually the patron of dinosaurs.
So there are dinosaurs in this world.
Mm-hmm.
There
Well, like, historically.
were? Are?
Which means there's chickens. Which means Dremel can own a chicken farm.
Well, you have Penelope, so
Which means if Alder sees a dinosaur, can Alder turn into a dinosaur?
depends on what level he is. And depends on if he actually sees a dinosaur. Maybe you should join, share the information with your group.
I mean, I said to Manu, what the fuck is Ooptow out loud?
No, I'm saying
He's saying
Drummel.
to
Drummel
me.
needs to share it.
Oh, got it. Sorry. I thought you meant me.
No, that's why they rolled religion checks. He is the father of the dinosaurs. That's his title.
Okay, let me write that down.
Daddy Dino.
Dinosaurs. Okay.
Ooptow
Hearing
did it again.
I thought of your name, and it reminded. So
Oh, baby, baby.
when I hear Ooptow, there's like the gears start to turn in my head. I'm like, Ooptow, I know that. Oh shit, that's Daddy Dinosaur.
Come again for Big Fudge?
Yay. Okay, all right. So Ooptow was one of the. Give me a second. I learned it back in school. He was one of the oldest gods, like one of the first ones, like along with the Celestials and all that stuff. And he was the patron. He was the patron of dinosaurs. He was called Father Dinosaur, or the Father of Dinosaurs, something. I called him Daddy Dinosaur because that's the only way I could remember shit. Because school is boring as fuck.
Really
What a
glad
big
that you're
brain
a
boy you are.
big brain boy.
It worked out, didn't it?
Correct,
Indeed.
but
So how about you
Well,
don't
then-
question my methods?
Do we even need Thok to keep talking to Ashiki? We've kind of got some information on what we're looking for. Shouldn't we kind of start trying to put some road behind us?
Dice Daddy, do I know more, or do I just know who he is?
You know that he is a primordial god. Most of his teachings and his worships would be in primordial. And because you did get a natural 20, you know that there aren't a lot of followers of Uptao, but depending on the kind of druid or cleric, usually they worship at noon.
I know there's not a lot of followers. He speaks in and teaches in primordial, which doesn't do anything for me. But
I speak and read primordial. My partner taught me.
well, Patty LaBelle.
I don't know who that is. I can also speak and write primordial.
Looks like we got two people who can translate those tablets.
Potentially, if they're written in primordial.
I mean, if they're his tablets, I don't see why they wouldn't be.
So again, I'll pose this question to the group: do we want to go? Because it's time to go.
I feel bad not messaging Ashiki as a thank you at least, but I don't want to waste another.
I mean,
level.
let's not die, and then we can thank him tomorrow.
I like the way you
just a
said-
thought.
Can he send us messages while we're flying?
I don't think he
From-
can send us messages. Period.
He could
Like-
only send the message as a reply to my message.
Yeah, but I'm saying, can you, like Thok, can you send a message while we're flying and he sends one back?
I don't think so because it's verbal, somatic, and you see this little piece of copper wire I have in my hand. I
Yeah.
have to talk into it.
Well,
We're
I
going to
mean-
be a cloud, so holding things is not a strength.
No, it
Yeah.
becomes part of. Where does this wire go whenever we become a cloud?
into the cloud.
Into
You s-
me?
You store everything in the cloud.
that's a fact.
Okay,
Well,
I hate this. Can we go?
yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't remember much about Uptao. The only other thing I remember is they worship it at noon. So if they follow Uptao, Donna, you're spot on. We got to go now because it's going to take us about 3 hours to get there, right?
Which that would put us getting there right about or
Around
right
noon.
before noon.
Shit. All right.
Could we get there, camp, and then potentially wait? Do you know how long they worship for?
Do I?
Like, is it like, I'm going to have a half-hour mass, and then I'm
DM
done?
says no.
Or is it like
He says
Catholic?
half
shrug his
It's like 3
shoulders.
hours.
This isn't a weekday.
No, I got no idea. I just know that if we go at 12, it's going to be our best shot.
Should we travel, wait until potential...
Oh my god, make us clouds so we can go.
Yeah, we go now.
Yes, let's go.
We'll make it
Gather
in
all
time
your
if we go
things.
now. All
Like,
right, start to
everybody
pack
get
up.
packed up.
I rapidly pack up.
No, because Ghana staying here.
I rapidly
sorry.
just stand in a circle.
I mean, I still
pack
need
up
my
the
shield
things
and
that we
shit.
need
Like,
to have with us. That's what's
yeah.
important. Like, all right, if everyone has everything that they need, I got all my stuff. I got Aya. Go ahead and take another vial of holy water and cast produce flame in my hand in order for us to cast windwalk and corporealate into clouds
I hate
and
this.
fly off to towards the coordinates that we were given I'll probably have us end just short of them, so that way we can kind of get a view of where we are.
Sure. Okay. So the four of you start to turn into dust as Gava kind of puts a solemn webbed hand up as the four of you slowly start meshing and turn into this Sandman type cloud going through the swamp. Once again, it's still jarring and not exactly pleasant, but eventually you all four get to the outskirts of where the lizard camp is, or the temple.
About what time is it now?
I would say it's most likely around, what, it's 3 hours. You most likely left at like 7. So about 10 o'clock.
Okay. Then as we land, I look at the sun and I say, looks like we got about 2 hours before their worship time. I think we should scout out the area, and Thok, it might be a good time to ask Ashiki a little bit more information.
Why don't we pair off? Thok can stay here in the brush, have someone with him, just in case something comes for them, and then we have a scouting party, whoever's the quietest, go out and around and kind of get a lay of the land.
You and me go scout. I can keep us quiet.
Who is you then when you said that?
You as in the one who's talking about this idea.
Cool, I like that. Let's do it.
All right, and then in order
I didn't know if there was a gesture.
Yeah, and in order to do that, I will go ahead and pull some ashes out of my bag, and I will cast Pass Without a Trace on us, so that way we can kind of sneak around this camp.
And Donna just starts to sing, "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious."
And then
And I just turn around and say, that doesn't help.
the Jewish rabbi is like Jean Ralphio. Okay. So eventually you two make it to this it almost looks like like a Aztec pyramid, where it's fairly high in length, but it's squared as opposed to a pointed kind of area. You see that it's slightly dilapidated. It's been buffed by sand and winds, and it looks relatively uninhabited on the outside. As you kind of walk amongst the perimeter with your Pass Without a Trace, I won't even have you roll for it.
This place looks like shit.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of life around here that I can see.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Are we going to fight everyone that lives here or just a couple people?
I'm leaning towards bad because that tells me that probably everyone's inside, and the coordinates that I'm picking up, DM, they're inside that, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely in there. Which means we gotta go in there.
It seems right. Yep.
Sounds like the math checks out.
Do you have a sense of where it is in the building now that we're on the outside of it, or?
I will know them when I see them.
That is just very comforting. I'm very excited.
I can only control what he showed me, and that's all I got.
So you don't know where to go in the building. You just know that this is the building.
I know the exact coordinates of it. So, like, the exact coordinates aren't going to be, like, perfect for where it is. It's just the exact coordinates of this building. So, unfortunately, that's what I have.
Okay. Cool. Well,
I think it's mostly because of the fact that he's never been able to get his hands on them. So,
yeah,
we are his agents of death.
So, let me just kind of I've been thinking about something that I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I just kind of want to get your feelings.
Go ahead and shoot.
You know, he's a sketchy guy, real
Incredible.
weird,
Yep.
kind of scary,
Very.
all-knowing, scary big guy.
Talk to me as my dad. Shit my pants. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, oh, it was your dad. Nice. I didn't know that.
That's because you don't speak Elvish.
That is correct. I don't, but I do speak Primordial, which could come in handy here. Regardless, we're getting off topic. It was my wife, by the way, just in case you were wondering. I know you were. I heard it.
Wow.
It's fine.
I had a hunch.
So it wouldn't be a bad thing to get this for him and be on his good side, so that if we ever needed a favor, we'd have an all-powerful, all-knowing, clairvoyant snake man beast thing on our side. But it makes me wonder what this is going to do to the people that live here. We're taking away a religious artifact. So I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place on whether or not I like him.
I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of have to think about it of, do you need to be a little bit selfish? Obviously, this is something that might not be great for where we're at. You've kind of already observed it. I believe your word for it is this is kind of a shithole.
It's kind of a shithole. You're not wrong.
Yeah. You can look at it and be like, well, if we take that away, it's really not going to make much of a difference because of the fact that I need information, and if I get these tablets, I get that information.
I guess I'm just grappling with the morality of it.
I understand that. I mean, this might be something that, honestly, now hearing what Dremel said, what if these are like some kind of ancient tablets that like unleash some kind of ancient dinosaur that hasn't been seen in forever that can destroy the world? What if we
that would be a bad thing that would suck.
Giving him that power? Like, if that's the case, maybe these people are trying to protect us from doing that. Like, and instead we cause the end of the planet. So there's a lot of bad things that can happen in every scenario. It's just a matter of which scenario is the worst.
Hopefully I'll be able to tell you what these tablets say, because I think, as unlikely as it seems, I can probably read faster than thought. So here we are.
It's good, because whatever language it's probably in, I'm going to tell you right now, probably can't read it. So
do we see any guards on the outside? Do we see anything that looks like it could be magical of any kind? Or
Go ahead and both of you roll an investigation check.
Terrible.
nope. I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 4 for a 5.
You guys
Mine
are
was
doing
with
great.
guidance.
Mine was not.
You don't see any guards or any magical traps.
Oh,
Most
cool.
is
They
clear.
do not care about this thing. We're good. We're just going to walk
maybe
in,
they're
take
already
it.
extinct,
It's true. Nobody's seen a lizard person. Dremel might be onto something.
He could be. I hate to admit that he's right.
We don't have to tell him that. It's fine. He's not here. He can hear what we're saying.
He's got a big brain. He might just know it.
Let's sneak back and get ready, because I think worship time starts soon, and I kind of look at the sun.
Definitely soon.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Okay. So while they're scouting, what are the two of you doing?
I'm sending Ashiki the message.
Oh my god, back-to-back 4s.
You're doing great, Sweaty. What are you saying to Ashiki?
25 words. Wrote it out. It's
Okay.
easier this way.
Lay it on me.
Thank you, Ishiki. That helps a lot. Hope you're a little bit more awake now. Did you discover anything else? Strength, vulnerabilities, anything you know will help.
Okay. A few moments pass as you hear more clattering of like. Sorry, just trying to straighten up. Yes. The goal of followers of Ubtao want to defeat the night serpent when she finally comes to eat the sun.
Okay. Hold on. When she. So I go to drama. I'm like, so apparently, the followers of Ubtao want to defeat the night serpent when she comes to eat the sun.
All right. I mean, that seems honorable. And he's half in the conversation. The whole time he's just kind of like thinking.
Mm-hmm. What's he thinking?
Does Doc have any response to the thing I said?
That's a thought question.
Not really. I'm just the fact that it registered what I said. I was like, okay, I guess he knows what I'm talking about.
So a couple seconds pass, and Dremel looks up a little bit and says, "You know, maybe they worship those tablets." Meaning that going at noon would not be advantageous.
No, that's why I suggested we go later in the day.
Yeah, we probably should have listened. That Vindrin wine got me real amped up.
You got Donna real amped up too. He was ready.
Sure did. Well, if all they want to do is not eat the sun, or stop the sun from getting eaten, it doesn't seem like a bad thing to let them have the tablets.
No, but I mean, now I'm curious. What does Ubtao
Ubtao.
want with them?
Well, Ubtao is the god.
So Ubtao's not the thing answering our questions? Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't know why I thought he was the god. I was like, what the fuck?
No, Ubtao is the god that they worship, that all these lizard people who may or may not exist worship. But you said the night serpent.
I want to know what Zunu wants.
Zunu is a snake. Which is another word for serpent.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's animal racist.
You can't just go around calling people snakes. That's not right.
Snack.
As Donner and Alder just mysteriously just pop up. That's not right.
Are you guys actually there? Okay.
I didn't say it like Donner, but I wanted to.
I feel you, dog.
Did I tell these two to come back? Because looking at the sky, what time is it?
I would say it took you 3 hours. You left it's about 10.
Do you think they'd be able to get it in 2 hours?
What, to get the tablet?
Yeah.
I mean, they're hunting right now. They're doing reconnaissance. I can't imagine they'll be gone for much longer. I think we talk about it once they get back. And now, I was already concerned about Zunu having these tablets. But knowing that they just don't want the sun to get eaten, and the sun is what stops us all from dying, or the suns, rather. Wait, so is it only going to eat one sun? Like, that's not too bad, right? We have two for a reason.
That's still bad. Exactly. We have two for a reason. If we lose one, then
Then we have
who
the
knows?
other. It's like a lung or a testicle.
No. I don't think it works that way. Not with the sun.
And I look up at the suns, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't want to lose a testicle either. All right.
That brain of yours,
Cannon.
man, just...
Drummel's testicles are now named Lathander and Pelor.
Oh no, I said on Lathander again.
I said on Lathander.
I'm so tired of being old.
Sorry. Otto is muted.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of where I leave off. Where, yeah, Thok, I wouldn't want to lose a testicle. And if the Earth is like me, it doesn't want to lose one of its sons. Well,
Yeah.
shit.
So let's not lose one of the Earth's testicles then.
Yeah, but does that mean we take the tablets? Does that mean we don't give them to Zunu? Do we break them?
That's where I don't know, because we kind of need answers from Zunu, but he won't give it to us without the tablets. But I don't trust him with the tablets now that we know why the lizard folk worship the tablets.
How many more messages can you send to Ashiki?
Today? Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. But that burns up level 5 and 4 spells. I can send one more at the level that it currently is right now.
Well, gee dang.
But I can essentially send 6 more messages if I burn higher level.
And Dremel's thinking,
It doesn't have to be right now, obviously.
no, but we need to... Maybe he knows something about the tablets. I think we should wait for the group to get back, but if this is as heavy as we think it is, we got to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to Armstrong the planet.
Look, I've already pissed off one god. I don't feel like pissing off another one.
Yeah. Well, I and Dremel casts Mage Hand, and also casts what's that called? Dancing Lights, so that the Mage Hand is like, you know those look those metal balls that you do like that to keep your hand strength up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Mage Hand does that with the dancing lights, while Dremel just sits there thinking.
And I'm going to use thaumaturgy because I can make little sensory things happen and do the little chimes that are in those little balls as you, like, do that.
Ooh, yeah, that's a nice touch.
While you're pondering, Alder and Donner, you eventually meet up with your friends.
So it doesn't look like it's heavily guarded. There doesn't seem to be like any magical properties to the outside. So we should be good to go in what, like 30 minutes?
I think we should wait longer. It's almost worshipping time for them.
I thought we wanted to go in at worshipping time.
I thought we wanted to avoid worshipping time.
It's,
Well,
Kind of.
I think we got confused. Donner, I think you and I got hit with that wine a little too hard. If they're gonna worship something, might be those tablets.
I mean, it might be, but it might be a statue, or it might be each other, or it might be the sun, it might be the pyramid thingy. I mean, it might be a lot of things.
Did you see them out there anywhere?
No.
No Sons of Life.
Well, if it's the tablets, they're all gonna be in one location. With
I mean, we came here 2 hours before worship, and there wasn't anybody out here either. So maybe they just stay inside all the time.
also a possibility. I know nothing
Could be.
about lizard folk.
Or maybe they
Or
don't even
maybe
exist.
they don't exist.
Thank you, Donner. You finally get it. Man, your eyes are so awakened now. Your
That's
third
like
eye.
it's open and aware
His mind's eye.
Or
or
whatever.
whatever.
Well, Alder, can you make us all sneaky snakes like you did earlier?
I can.
Oh, before you do, you should probably know that Ishiki got back, and he let me know that the followers of Utao, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
yep.
right. That they want to defeat the night serpent that comes to eat the sun. So
Cool.
I
So
don't
Zunu's
think-
definitely the night serpent.
No,
Thing.
how is he? Oh my goodness!
Wow.
We're
You can't
jumping to all kinds of conclusions.
just because they look the same doesn't mean they are the same.
So Zunu's not a serpent. He's half human. There's got to be a name for that I'm not knowing.
Weren't we told it? Wanti.
Maybe.
a half human, half serpent.
Yeah, it's called a Wanti.
See, not a serpent.
Well, either way,
Well,
he wants these tablets, and if by chance these tablets are keeping the night serpent at bay, or maybe these tablets let the night serpent Armstrong the earth, I think we gotta think about
I
what
don't
we're doing.
understand the reference.
Armstrong, he was a giant in my tribe where he only had one leg, and then he had two
Nice.
legs to begin with. But like the sun, there's two suns. So if you
Mhm.
lose one of something when you should have had two, we called it Armstronging.
Got it.
got it.
I'm learning
I still
so
don't get
much.
it.
Welcome to my
So-
culture.
So because obviously these lizard folk are not exactly, I mean, theoretically we are stealing from them, but they're not bad.
I mean, we don't know that they're not bad. I don't know how many people you've talked to in Primordial, but most times they're not the nicest people.
My lover is primordial.
Speaks exclusively in Primordial?
I mean, to me he does. Like, how do you think I learned it? I mean, he speaks
I
common.
mean, yeah, but these things speak Primordial.
You speak primordial as well.
Correct.
Oh, all right. Okay, let's not go down this path. How about? Here's what I'm thinking. We take those tablets. We acquire those tablets, and
Borrow.
then
We borrow the
We
tablets.
borrow the tablets. Thank you, Donner. And once we have them in our possession and we can read them, then we decide what to do. We can give
I
them
love
back.
it.
We can give them back and say, "Oh no, we found these in the woods. Do you want these back?" And maybe they'll be like, "Oh, thank you. Here's some money."
I'm sure it'll
Yeah, it'll probably
just
go
like
just that way.
I'm just trying to be optimistic, guys.
Okay,
I
let's
appreciate
start.
your optimism.
Let's move so at least we can kind of get in the direction of tablets.
Yeah.
We can scout out the inside. We don't have to necessarily go where the tablets are.
Alder, do you know how to navigate through this temple?
I'll probably get an idea of when we're there, when we get there.
That sounds like a big old no.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I got from the outside as well.
Yeah, he did not give me a bevy of information, just exactly where they are and what they look like. He thinks.
Thanks.
I have
Who's
to
gonna-
specify that because he doesn't know. He's never seen them.
Okay. Who's gonna
So
be
let's
walking
get-
in the front?
Let's get sneaky.
Sneaky.
Okay, in that case, well, has it is Pass Without a Trace should still be up because it lasts for an hour.
We weren't around you when you cast it.
But it's whoever's within my range that's an ally. And actually, you were around me when I cast it. You just didn't walk with us.
What does Pass Without a Trace do again?
It adds an additional +10 to your stealth.
All right.
So if your stealth is a +4 already, it's a +14.
Gotcha. Knowing that we're about to go inside, I start to take off all my armor because I have disadvantage on stealth.
So do I.
We don't know if we're gonna be looking for a fight in there. Do you think that's the best idea?
Take it off or leave it on?
Fuck,
To
don't
take
you
it
have
off.
boots that make you quiet?
Yeah, like I roll it out of game. I roll out a straight roll because I have the boots.
Yeah. So
yes, I have.
Cool.
These boots make me nice and quiet, but the armor still clanks a little bit.
I mean, it's not ideal. I just don't want to be the one to get us caught.
Am I able to give you like one boot? And I have,
Dice Daddy says
Like,
no
just, we
emphatically.
That's a emphatic.
that's a thought. Ew.
Um,
3 times
my-
fast. Ooh.
My thought process is. Sorry. You're going to be incredibly squishy without that on. I think it's smarter for you to keep your armor on
I can always cast
and take the risk.
I mean,
Death Ward
Drim,
on
it's
you.
a plus. It's a bonus having it, you know. So it's going to be even harder. Even if you do clank a little bit, it's going to be harder to find us. So
Okay, but if we get caught and it's me, you are not allowed to get mad.
Well, here's the
How
thing:
much-
is regardless if we get caught, we could still get caught with you not having your armor on, and then have to fight, and then I think it's going to be a worse situation. So, I think there's still the likelihood of getting caught one way or the other. I'd rather us be prepared for a fight if it gets presented to us.
I agree with Aldo.
How much more vulnerable are you without it? Like,
Well,
is it,
I would
like,
say
a lot.
I'm pretty sure his AC is 19.
I would say about 25% more vulnerable.
Oh shit. Because I mean, I can always make it so that you can't just go unconscious right off the back, and I also can add a protective shield around you for 10 minutes in a dire circumstance.
All right. You know what?
Right.
Fuck it. If we die, we die. I mean, we won't die. I'm going to live forever.
All right.
Okay, can we go?
So does that,
Yeah, let's
so does
go.
that mean that you're going to take it off or leave it on?
I'm going to leave. I was putting it back on as we were talking.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I was
guys,
taking it
this-
off, and then as soon as Alder said, nah, don't do that, I was like, okay.
I thought that
won't
was
do
like one of those, if we die, we die, fuck it, I'm taking it off.
Yeah, no, the guys, the spell is a losing runtime. We got about 40 minutes of this working to go ahead and scout it out and quiet.
All right, let's hobble.
Let's go. We head to the entrance.
Okay. As we walk up, I'm going to cast Disguise Self on myself
Okay.
to look like one of them lizards.
You don't know what they look like.
How describe yourself?
I'm going to wait until we see one, and then I'm going to cast Disguise Self on myself to make myself look like a lizard.
I don't know. You said that you were gonna be disguising yourself and looking like a lizard. What does Dremel think a lizard person looks like?
Kind of like a raptor, kind of like Blue from Jurassic Park, but like humanoid.
I was thinking Gex the Gecko.
Oh
I was
shit!
also thinking Gex the gecko.
That's kind of what I'm saying, but like less cartoony. So like take Gex and his wisecracking antics, add in the money saving from Gecko, and then add in the ferocity of Blue from Jurassic World.
Hear me out. All of that, but they're also wearing the wizard from Fantasia robes, and he's a lizard.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh my god.
Oh, fucking hell.
No, you look like Gex the gecko. So you see Dremel transform himself into this very cartoony-looking lizard person. As he kind of looks at you and he's like, ah?
Now, even if I
You-
get caught, they just think I'm one of them.
You are the dumbest smart person I've ever met in my whole life.
Listen, I can save you 15% or more.
I hate you so much. So, as the three of you are looking at your new friends, you make it to the entrance of the temple. Takes a little bit to go around the perimeter, but you do see there is a door. It looks like it's carved out of this limestone that this pyramid is made out of. It doesn't seem that there is any kind of like pull or knock method. You just kind of push as there is a cascade of stairs going down. As you four look down and you just see black. As you just hear a very low like...
I have dark vision, so
I know what I said.
can I see and know?
You can see the stairs going down further.
Okay. I cast dancing lights, but real low. I try and keep it dim and like on the stairs.
That's
Yeah,
not
you
gonna
have a
help the
dimmer on
spell.
dancing lights.
You do. You can control
You're just like-
the luminosity.
Yeah, you had it.
Okay, so you make like a very dim. We're talking what, 20%, 30% here?
Oh yeah, probably in that range.
Okay, so it's kind of like it still kind of gives you a headache to concentrate. Got it.
Yeah. perfect.
So you put your dancing lights ahead of yourselves, and you four. What's the marching order?
I would assume Alder's first? Question
Yeah.
mark.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'll be behind him.
Okay,
And then I'll follow Donner.
Alder, Donner,
The
Dremel.
rear.
Okay. Okie doke. So, Alder, you were the first into the area. So, I'm going to put you in there first, and we're going to turn the page. Do.
Ooh.
As you're in
Wow.
a very dark area.
Oh, there we are, all the way at the bottom. Found it.
I was
no,
like,
don't worry
oh
about it.
no, it's a black screen.
Yeah. I was like,
Fuckers, go
zoom out, zoom out.
So you are at the bottom of the area. You see in front of you there is another kind of like archway. Little hard to see what's going on, but you hear the occasional scatter, the occasional water drip of the underground of the temple, and the occasional hiss of something there. What you doing while you're down there?
So my dark vision extends 60 feet. Can I see anything through there?
You see 60 feet of more tile in a hallway, and eventually it goes back out into blackness.
In that case, I will basically wait for everyone else to get down here, so that way we can continue to try and move stealthily through the shadows.
Okay. So, Donner, you're there. And
Because we
then
have to stay close to each other in order for it to work.
Dermo back there. So you do have control of your characters. So if you'd like to start moving them, you may. As best you can.
Okay.
I'm gonna look around for any kind of, I guess, like scratchings or like drawings of some kind, where it would show like a room or what the room would look like if they were to worship in the room.
Okay. So
I guess
you're
like
specifically looking.
hieroglyphs.
Okay, so you're looking for a kind of like roadmap to what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check for hieroglyphs. Anyone else? So far, I just still have Thok in the rear, so Alder and Dremel, you still have the option to look for other things.
I would like to look for anything that looks like a trap or anything that looks like a trap trigger.
Okay. And Alder?
I just want to see if I find anything that just looks out of place. More so kind of a general search.
Okay. Two of you roll investigation checks as well. Donner, what did you get?
19.
19. As you kind of look along the walls, you put your dancing lights around, you see occasional, it looks like bipedal lizards. Less cartoony than what Dremel looks like, but still a little cartoony because they're cave drawings. You occasionally see different bipedal lizards with different, it looks like almost like holding up bowls. So you see to the extent of a ritual, you just can't kind of decipher what that ritual is.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then what did the two of you get for your investigations?
6.
16.
Better.
16. Okay, so Alder, you're kind of in front, correct?
Yep.
So you're kind of looking around, you're putting your your hands amongst everything, you're making sure you're stepping carefully. Drummel, you kind of notice that one of the tiles is kind of off center or out of place as you see Alder's foot kind of press down. And Alder, you feel kind of a click as you kind of stand there and you look back at the rest of your party. And Drummel, you identify that he is pressed down on some kind of pressure plate.
I use minor illusion into Alder's ear, and I say, "Don't move. You stepped on a pressure plate. Some trap is about to activate." So anything that we can see right now, we can see as our characters, right?
Yeah.
It looks like there are spikes on the wall. I'm very concerned. Only you can hear this.
I'm crying inside.
You're also crying outside.
I am crying outside.
And I turn over to Donner and I whisper, "Donner."
Yeah.
Alder just stepped on a pressure plate. We might all die. There are spikes on the wall. I don't want to get squished.
I'm sorry, did you say Alder stepped on a pressure plate?
Yeah, and I kind of gesture over to where he's standing.
I kind of look over and I go, okay, so that means Alder's the only one that's trapped here, right?
Maybe.
I wouldn't do that to him.
And Alder's in a full flop sweat. As Sock, you and Manu are at the head of the stairs, and you both kind of look at each other and then look back at the three of them just trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. As Manu kind of looks at you and he goes, "Your friends are idiots."
Can I see Can I see how long this is? Like how far this goes out?
Your dark vision is what, 60?
60, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking. You can see to about. Sorry. Okay. So you can see to about the other end of this hallway.
So does it look like in this area, does it look like it's separated from the part of the room we're currently in?
It does.
Okay. So I'm going to kind of congregate over here with Dremel and Alder, and I'm going to signal Thok to come over. And
Before I come over, I look at Manu and I'm like, they're idiots, but I'm not one to talk. I'm not really the brightest one either.
Yeah, I know.
Donna whispers, Thok, stop talking to your imaginary friend and get over here. Or we're all going to be dead.
It's not imaginary. Okay, I head over there.
He's not. He's real.
I see
Goes
him.
to another school.
You don't know him. He lives in Canada.
And I can't control me because he's not on the board yet. I don't see.
You're very far in the back, so I will move you. Hold on.
Thank
There you are. You can see the corner of yourself. There you go.
There I am.
Dear
Okay.
God.
So the way I see it is we can make a run as soon as Alder pulls his foot off of this pressure plate. They will know we're here. So then it just becomes a get in and get out as fast as we can mission. Or we leave Alder here the whole time and we go look for other stuff. And he may get captured.
I don't like that idea.
What do
Personally.
you
Noted.
Alder, how much do you weigh?
Not much. In comparison to everybody else here. I weigh...
What is the ground made out of?
It's stone.
I
Okay.
think I weigh about 200 pounds.
I do not have 200 pounds of things to Indiana Jones you free.
Oh, sorry, 180 pounds. 180 pounds.
I still do not have 180 pounds to Indiana Jones you free.
I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but it could.
Okay, so I hold my action to dash until if Fox thing doesn't work.
I still have stone shape prepared. I can stone shape the stone around the pressure point, over the plate, around Alder's foot, preventing the plate from rising and keeping it locked. Pressed
Okay.
where it is.
Let's try it. And Donna kind of gets in a runner stance. Like he's going to take off.
Well, I think
Okay.
you guys should be more in that hallway while he does this. If it's just this one chamber of this room that crashes in on us.
Alder, I didn't want to tell you, but I have every intention of picking your ass up and running out here with you. So if you want me to stand away from you so you can die, then I will.
Cool.
But
No,
that was
we're
not
good.
my intention.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
Real
That's-
quick, this is a wall, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is it a full size wall, like to the ceiling, or is it like a half wall?
It's a doorway, but I mean, you can arguably
Oh.
push it.
Gotcha, I understand. So is there a door or is it an archway?
It's like an archway. I'll give you an archway.
Okay.
So it's opened.
It's opened because I
Gotcha.
gave you the 60 feet.
All right. So I didn't notice any other trap triggers, correct?
Not from where you're standing.
Oh boy.
But do you want me to
Do it, Doc.
Do it.
Yeah.
Go.
Do you want me to find traps real quick before I do this?
No.
'Cause
Just
I
do this
prepared
one,
that
and then we'll
too.
worry about more traps later.
Oh, okay.
As they say this, you look back, Thok, over at the archway where Manu is standing, and he's sitting on the stairway like this. And then when you look over at the archway, you actually see Manu also there, kind of just rubbing his forehead, leaning on the arch.
I just-
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Let's take advice from the guy who died already. That makes sense.
You can't see him.
He's talking
You know
about
that
you.
thing.
Dick bag.
All right. So I'll
Hurt
go into
your
my
thing.
component pouch, grab some soft clay, and then I'm gonna cast Stone Shape as I take the stone surrounding the plate where Alder's foot is, and slowly start encasing the plate to keep it where it is so that Alder can remove his foot.
Okay. So, Alder, you feel this stone kind of envelop around your foot. You slowly lift up. And that's where we'll actually end it tonight.
Oh,
Oh,
you,
you cock tease.
yeah.
That boy.
No, that's bullshit, is what it is.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say, no, you're not.
I'm almost done with this full 6-pack. Is that bad?
Nah,
Your
you're
mom
just living
didn't
life,
start it
dog.
today.
Started
I'm
like
sorry,
3
what?
hours ago.
Did you start it today?
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's all right.
Okay. Pat, do the thing.
Is that Vindrin?
Guys, thank you so much for staying and checking this episode out with us. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back next week with another episode of Dungeons and Dragons and Junk Drawer. Josh, do you want to yell out people's names?
You know what, Pat? I sure do.
God damn, you're so good at that.
Oh my God, stop. So, a big old shout out to
In the French accent?
Big old shout out to Commander Root, Aten, Devalino Servan, Gingery Oval, Thicker, and Wicked Sweetheart, and a double thank you to Wicked Sweetheart for the 100 beats. I need to work on my accent again. It has been
French
so long.
for would you like to sit on my toilet?
Pierre escargot. I haven't done a French accent of any kind since like 9th grade when I took French because they wouldn't give me Spanish. So don't yell at me for the bad accent.
Yell at him for other things.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all back here next week.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.